Hello, everyone. Thank you for joining us today on this edition of Tech Dialogues Build Your LinkedIn Advantage with AI. Thank you so much for joining. Please do scan the QR code on the left-hand side of your screen to join our community, to be kept up to date with exciting events like this one. Do feel free to share the link with a friend, share it with your community. I think you will have a very good time. I'm really excited. I believe I'm going to learn a lot. And it is really my pleasure to welcome Ganesh. Please, again, use the comment section, interact with us, and we will have a dedicated Q&A at the end of our talk. So there will be plenty of time to ask your questions. Do tell us where you're joining from. We will love to hear from you. But without further ado, you're not here to hear me speak. I'm going to welcome Ganesh. So Ganesh is an executive technology leader with 20 plus years of experience delivering $500 million plus in business value through AI, Gen AI, agentic AI, automation, ERP, modernization, cloud strategy, and enterprise tech transformation across 90 plus countries. He's partnered with boards and C-suite leaders to turn technology investments into measurable ROI, stronger resilience, and sustainable growth. Welcome, Ganesh. We're really glad to have you, and the stage is
Yeah, perfect. First of all, thank you, Elena, and also Lynn Williams, who referred me to you and the organization. I'm really excited to present, right, what I have learned in the past few years. Thank you, everyone. So let me do a quick intro about myself. I'm based in Atlanta. As Elena said, I'm a technology executive. So by no means I'm an employee of LinkedIn or I don't have any paid gig. So this has been over my number of years of curiosity, how the algorithm works. So I'm part of a couple of communities where the people who really shape the algorithm, they are part of that. So I've been learning from them how to even position one business, one profile, how to be seen as authentic, how to really optimize your profile. Whatever your goals are, might be you have a business, maybe you are a consultant, maybe you are a full-time employment, maybe you are a job seeker. So that curiosity factor connected me with the number of people in the LinkedIn space. These are all like thought leaders, people who really shape those algorithms. It's all evidence-based, data-driven. So what I'll be sharing today is some of those findings from the report, and happy to also take some Q&A at the end. But I do have a few slides to cover, and Elena is going to keep a tab on the time, and she will probably alert me, if you're running short on time. Also, I want to tell next week we are going to get a new algorithm report, which is going to be released on April 29th. So I'm really looking forward to the new report that is based on 1.5 to 2 million profile reviews and post reviews. Again, data and evidence based. So once the report is published, so obviously I'll be learning and updating any of the content which might need to revisit. I'm happy to come back and another time in the future to share any algorithm updates. But for now, we can go ahead and get started. So what we'll cover today is mainly around LinkedIn and how we can use AI to elevate our profile, how to optimize your profile. Those are the two underlying themes. All right, and this is there in the agenda, so I'm not going to repeat it, but that's primarily how do we optimize our LinkedIn, and you can also leveraging AI. So why it matters? First of all, LinkedIn, as some of you might know, we have 1.2 billion users on LinkedIn, 1.2 billion. And so LinkedIn is viewed as the high trusted source. If you go to google.com, you go on searches, if you go to AI searches, Whenever you type something, LinkedIn is seen as the high trusted source. So it's very important we maintain a professional profile, then the visibility is maintained, so that will attract the to come up on searches. Consistency and the visibility, complete profile will really make a difference. So it will enhance your recruiter visibility, career opportunity, or professional credibility. But also, you can connect with other people in your industry, in your target industry. Then it also nurture your relationship. So it's very important you maintain a complete profile. So, and this is a very important slide. One need to understand. So LinkedIn, mainly anything we touch, right? Our profile, our post, our comments, our DMs, our any activity on LinkedIn, it mainly caters to two types of readers. One is a human, because really we want to connect with other humans in your space or offer help, network. So that is given. Now, algorithm also reads your profile. It forms an opinion who is Ganesh. For example, if I want to be known as a technology leader, so obviously my profile should talk about my headline, my about section, my feature, my experience, my keywords, my skills, my recommendation, everything will talk about around the technology space. So I write articles, posts once a week. Now imagine, now I suddenly start writing about insurance policies or tariffs or taxes. LinkedIn algorithm will think, wait a minute, that is not in Ganesh lane. Ganesh is he's a technology guy. Now he is suddenly talking about taxes, about insurance policies. So those posts will be there, but LinkedIn will not. Uh, what should I say? It will suppress the outreach. If I've got 16,000 followers in my LinkedIn followers, so when I write with the authentic content, more of my followers are likely to see that. When I'm writing a topic of which is outside my lane, it will still be shown, but not majority of the followers. They will not see it. Only a handful will see it. Why? LinkedIn will consider, wait a minute, Ganesh is not an expert in this area. So now he's suddenly talking about it. So it is going to assess, is it even worth to be a value add to other readers? So you have to be consistent and build your professional story and profile. And I'm happy to take questions, but so this is the main thing you need to understand. Any touch point, right? Your profile, your posts, comments, you have to cater to two people. So if algorithm rejects it, so only few humans will see it. If you get a check mark on algorithm, then more humans are going to see your profile. They are going to see your post. So you have to cater to both. Any activity on LinkedIn, you have to cater to both. That's a key takeaway from here. So how AI shapes your visibility? There are three systems which are behind the scenes that really shapes how your profile is going to come across and how it should be perceived by others. You don't have to remember that. It's just I want to highlight there are three things behind the scenes. One is a Llama 3. It is how the feed it gets retrieved. Second is Brew 360. Some of you again might have heard it, but after the presentation, feel free to Google and type LinkedIn 360 Brew. I think this became quite popular in terms of the discussion and sometime last year. But the LinkedIn 360 Brew is a second system. Third is a semantic search. So earlier, when people look for other people on LinkedIn, it used to be a lot of filters. Now, no more. You can write simple English. I am looking for CIO in Atlanta. I am looking for a transformational leader in ERP, in digital. You can literally write like English words and profiles will come up on searches. No more using those filters because semantic search now that's been rolled out. That is part of the LinkedIn's three systems. So which means The more your profile is optimized with keywords and consistency, you are building a brand. So you are really catering to all the three systems. So that is, I'm going to show you some examples in the next few slides. This is the main thing one need to understand. How to optimize your profile. You cater to all three. If you just do for Brew 360 and you don't uh, get discovered, then it's no good. So you have to cater to all three. Let's talk about Llama 3. So Llama 3 basically reads your headline, your about section, skills and posts and comments. About section is the highly Google indexed. It's like a SEO. So you get to those 600 characters, and you make sure it's written very well with a clearly explaining who you are, what problems you solve, what are your key value proposition. And headline has to be very clear. Not only the mission has to understand, but also human should understand. So there is an example of a bad example and good, like a software engineer, tech lead. There's nothing wrong with it, but people will not be looking for words like evangelist or innovation ninja or innovation sherpa. So use simple words, and also what is your value proposition? A better example is ML engineer who's building AI tools that ship Python and LLMs. So this is likely the person having this profile are likely to get picked up by the searchers more than the person who having this title, because no one is going to be searching with the title evangelist. So you have to think like the person, maybe a recruiter, maybe an other leaders looking for how to find people. So have the simple words, also include some value proposition. What problem you solve? What do you build? That you have to keep that way. This comes up in a semantic search. Second is the 360 brew. All the main thing is be consistent, right? So that to connect who you are, what you say, and what should you say. Like Richard Vanderbloom is a author of the uh, he is an author of the algorithm report. I was mentioning right next week the new report is going to come out. So I'm part of his community. We are going to have a new report released, and that is based on 1.52 million posts and reviews and profile reviews. So in simple terms, be consistent, build your brand, build your image, build your profile consistently to be how you want to be perceived by others, how you want the algorithm to be to see you, how you other humans should see you. So as long as you keep the consistency, you are able to cater to 360 brew. Okay, and I will also show some examples what a 360 brew profile will look like. I think maybe later, Elena, you can help me to know when I'm done with the presentation. I'll take a help to share my website. So this is another example of a 360 brew. when it also keeps track how much time people are spending on a particular post. If you are going to write with a very complicated words like it's a written post, most likely people are not going to spend time on that post. So that is measured by dwell time. When you open someone's post, you can LinkedIn actually keeps track how much time a person is literally spending time on that particular post. They call it dwell time. So a post which has got more dwell time is likely to do far better than a post which is not much dwell time. Similarly, how many people are saving those posts? That means you are sending a signal to algorithm. People are finding that valuable. Like if I have a post, if I see 100 people have liked my post, so LinkedIn will think, oh, Ganesh has written something educational, something insightful. So people are saving his post. So it is likely to showcase my post to more people, even outside my followers. So basically followers, all my first level followers, connections. So followers also can be second level. So this will go outside my connections. More people are likely to see when it finds my post to be valuable, and people are spending more dwell time, more safe. And also, it's recommended you use thoughtful comment, not like great post, thank you. So I think I read it somewhere. I think in the last year report talked about any comments less than 12 words there, but LinkedIn does not really give weightage to any comments less than 12 words. Ideally, it should be 18 words. 15 is the minimum. So the LinkedIn will start recognizing that comment in the ranking. So here is a bad and good example. So a post starting with 5 AI tools every developer should use. It's very generic. There's not much interest. Whereas a good one is you are not bad at coding, you just haven't learned to ask. So A ask the right questions. So to ask A the right questions, then you are more curious to there is a button called see more. So once you start using it, then more people are likely to spend the dwell time and read about that. So this is an example. It has been proven in this research. The better the hook, and you are likely to have more people getting engagement on the post, and also likely to get do better in terms of algorithm. Third is a semantic search. I told in the beginning. So nowadays, people can really find others literally by typing keywords. You don't have to do any filters. Simple plain English. I am looking for CEO in Georgia, in New York, and in the healthcare industry or in fintech industry. You can literally get those results. So more your profile is optimized, you are likely to come up on those semantic searches. Even people they use some of the inbuilt AI tools, which LinkedIn has a lot of inbuilt AI tools for searches. So semantic search is used in those tools. Okay. So now let's come to the how to build your credible profile. As I told in the beginning, you have to cater to humans as well as for the algorithm. Have a clear value proposition. Can you explain in simple words who are you and what problems you solve? What are your unique value proposition? Maintain a leadership tone. Talk about results you have impacted, results you have delivered, problems you solve. So as long as you are able to articulate that in the headline, in the about section, in the experience, in the keywords, so you build a consistent profile. And algorithm also has the clarity. Okay, the algorithm is going to come and read your profile, it gets a clear viewpoint on who this person is. So what kind of job this person is doing, what problems is solving, and the keywords. So the headline has 220 characters. The first 45 characters are very critical. So why I'll explain in the next slide, but please pay attention. 220 characters you get in headline, and the how you write the first 45 characters is going to be super important. I will explain in a second. So you're also giving a consistent topic signal. As I told you in the beginning, if I'm a technology guy, I write about technology, so that's a consistent signal. Then I start writing about outside of my lane. So LinkedIn algorithm is going to get confused. So who's Ganesh, right? So you have to stay consistent. It's okay to write on comment on other people. That is okay. When I write my own article, my post, it's better to stay on my lane. So about section, you get 2,600 characters. So, but the first 12 words of about section also matters because it comes up on the searches. And I'll explain that with an example. So coming back to the profile, Treat your LinkedIn profile. The more you optimize, you are likely to come up on SEO, on Google searches, on AI searches. So avoid words like wizard, ninja, evangelist, dreamer, or Sherpa. Keep a simple standard titles and problems what we solve. So each one of you can audit, review your profile, and avoid these words. So this I again I mentioned in the previous slide. The first 12 words becomes critical. So this slide, probably if you want, you can take a screenshot. Our headline, our profile photo, it shows up on 11 places on LinkedIn. 11 places as a core profile, main profile top section. When you send a connection request, also you will say people you may also know suggestions. When you are going to send any messages, DMs, email, chat, again our profile name, our headline will come, not the entire headline. Only the first few characters will show up. That is why the first 45 characters are important. So when you are going to engage in any activity, so your headline, your professional photo, it really literally follows you. Not the entire 220 characters, but the first 45 characters. Your visibility in the feed, articles, newsletters, so I can go on. But 11 places it shows up. So it's very, very important. You have a professional photo, not with some like a proper. Better to have a studio, have a professional. Some of the AI also can have a professional photo shot, which is perfectly fine. It should not look like too much edited, but you have to take a look at how the image quality. But avoid anything with a distracting background, with the poor lighting, because you are forming a first impression. Headline. First, I'm going to explain why it is important, because it comes up in all your engagement on LinkedIn. So the based upon, there are 55 to 60% of the users are mobile users. In fact, 65% of the LinkedIn users. I talked about 1.2 billion users on LinkedIn. Imagine 60 to 65% of the users are mobile users. And so when you're optimizing your profile, you have to cater to both the desktop version and mobile version. So when you make any changes to your banner with your headline, always do a test on your laptop or a desktop. Also check on your mobile phone. Very important. Sometimes what happens, it may look good on laptop. When you come to a mobile, things may look very cramped, things getting cut off. So you might be losing the visibility. So you have to probably reorder that. So to be on the safe side, the first 30 characters, no matter what your device is, right? Could be iPhone, Android device. Sometimes people set the zoom so they get a more clarity or more, on their fonts, on the phone model. So first 30, no matter what instrument, what phone you have, that will always show up. Again, it has been tested. 45 characters are very safe from mobile. If you can cater to mobile users, you're automatically taking care of desktop. So desktop users can get little bit more characters because of the much larger screen. But anything above you don't get the visibility. Yes, machine can read the 220 characters, but my goal is, if you can cater to the 40 to 45 characters, you should be good. The authenticity score is something, um, the algorithm, the algorithm behind LinkedIn, it assigns a score for every post we do, every comment we make. It will say, is it a human return or a AI return? If it is purely AI return or whatever, ChatGPT, Gemini, Claude, whatever it is, it will not going to do well. It will suppress those posts. It can, they have a very advanced software. It can detect how much of AI is written. So they know people use AI, but is it authentic? Is it you need to bring your voice. You need to It's okay to use AI for editing, for formatting. Absolutely. Just don't do a copy paste. So those posts will not do well. So my philosophy is use it for productivity, for organizing, for drafting. There's something called a signpost. When I write, I try to inject my own experience. I have seen this when I did this project. You don't have to name my company, but I can always reflect on some experience. So then it becomes my voice. No AI can mimic Ganesh experience. So you have to be authentic and inject those signposts. So when we write post, again, you write for relevance and impact. Post, you can maybe a thought leadership, maybe share your point of view. When you are commenting, extend additional. If someone is talking about here is the top 6 things one can do transformation AI. So when I write a comment, I say that's a great, but I would like to add one more perspective to that. Try to extend value, try to offer insight, so that will do much better. That will invite more engagement with other users. So your comments are read by, again, humans as well as by the algorithm. Some of you, if you have not done any posting, you can think of writing a simple post, and you can get AI to help edit or polish it. So start somewhere, maybe once a week, once a month. At least start reposting. Then you'll get comfort of writing. It can be a text only. It can be text with image or a video. But any activity, LinkedIn will consider as you are an active user. Not just having profile and not engaging on comments and posts. LinkedIn will think you are not an active user. So next 2 slides, I'm going to talk about how you can use AI. Whatever tools you are using, it could be ChatGPT, Claude, Gemini, Perplexity, Grok, Copilot, whatever tool you use, you can use the tool. You can actually download your LinkedIn profile, and I'll show you in a second. You can download as a PDF. You can go to any of your LLM of choice. You can ask it to assess. Is my profile optimized for my objective? Maybe I want to start a company. Maybe I want to be a coach. Maybe a consultant. Maybe I want to find my next job. Based upon my goal, I can literally get an assessment. Is my profile optimized? And if I'm going to apply for a job, I may even will be seen as a fit in my category, in my industry, in my target roles. Can I also take using AI to write a compelling about section? So you can lead with value proposition. You can include top skills and industries. It will also enhance your visibility to other humans and the algorithm. Experience section. You get 2000 characters for every experience section. You can highlight your action words, results, and keyword industry, which is very used by other leaders. Skills. You get 100 skills, and make sure your skills are optimized, and don't use too much of soft skills, which is try to minimize that, because when recruiters, when others, they always search based upon the core skills, industry skills, technical skills. So you have to optimize your profile to reflect more and less on soft skills. So professional summary, basically, it's nothing but your about, headline, experience. It will trigger the authenticity score. And you can always do a test. I'm going to use this version about my headline about, and wait for the next few weeks, and you come back and revisit. So are you seeing more traction, more engagement? So, and you feel free to adapt the version what works best for you. Second is the how to use AI to have a better presence on LinkedIn. Don't use it as a ghostwriter. I told you in the beginning. Don't copy paste. That will be a poor job. Always use it to draft, rewrite in your own words. Some of it I already covered, so I will quickly skip this one. You can use AI in many ways to profile, posts, comments, outreach, research. You can always help to polish your comments. So this one I'm going to talk in the next slide. You will get more viewpoint. And people who are job seekers, again, you can use the AI to assess your connections, look for patterns. You can help strategize outreach, get the keywords optimized, better connection request. So again, AI can do many things, but you need to know what to ask, how to ask any LLM of your choice. So finally, the main takeaway is make sure your profile is simple for other people to read, understand. Don't use any complicated words, simple words. Tell who you are, what problems you solve, and more simpler it is, it'll humans will get a clear understanding. Also, the algorithm will know who this person is. Don't overcomplicate it, and engage in authentic human connection. Support other people, connect with people. In fact, today I would recommend, right? I don't know how many of you joined today's call. I would highly encourage each one to connect with each other. So that's where you can grow your network. Okay. So let me stop the screen and let me. And then how do I share my screen?
So you should be able to click on present
Okay.
and then share screen.
Okay, let me do that. So share screen. Okay, perfect. Can you confirm you can see it? Can
Yes,
you
we
see
can.
me?
Yes.
Okay. So I know we have probably how much time left now? I can get another 5-10 minutes. 5 minutes.
Yeah, another 5 minutes will be fine.
Yeah. So I was mentioning in the beginning, Richard Vanderbloom is the person, and he's going to be releasing the new algorithm report next week, and he has been doing it for several years. And so I'm part of his community. That's why I've been learning a lot about how the LinkedIn shapes. If someone wants to know what is the best example of a 360 brew optimized profile, you may want to wonder, right? Oh, Ganesh has talked about 360 brew. Ganesh has been talking about algorithm. So, is there a good example? Is there a good sample profile? So, I would encourage whoever in the call, you can look for his name, Richard Vanderbloom, and his profile is optimized for 360 brew. It has a professional banner. It has a clearly what is he doing, right? Is a strategist, algorithm report, and he also talks about some results. He has trained over 350,000 users. His about section, he does not talk about I, me. He talks about some problem statement. So then when you click to see more, then he talks about who am I, what experience, why one should work with him, what he offers, what are the results. Then he includes a CTA, how to engage, call for action, call for engagement. So he has given his email to connect with him, and he is highlighting the top 5 skills. So because these are very visible on your LinkedIn profile. So he has, this is a good example of 360 brew optimized profile. Service page, because you don't have to have it, but people who have it, again, he has optimized. He talks about the things what he talked in the about section. So don't have any consisting viewpoint. Same. He has a very nice featured section. You'll see every feature section has a nicely formatted cover page. This one takes you to his playbook, his community membership, his newsletter. Everything is nicely organized with a link attached. If you look at his post, he writes with very simple hook. So people are encouraged to see more. So he again writes simple English, but many of his posts will do well. And experience section, he clearly comes with the problem statement. Then what he does, how does he bring value to the people, and include some media. So this is an example of a 360 brew optimize. So you can always refer that as you optimize. So I mentioned how to save your PDF, right? If you go to the three dots, you can say save to PDF. Once you are saved to PDF, it will go show up on your download folder, and you can grab that PDF. You can go to any of your AI tool, whatever you use. Then you can upload that PDF, and you can say analyze my profile, and I want to land in a job, or I want to grow my business, I want to grow this. You can analyze it. And one more thing I'll tell, if you go to your let me quickly let me I'll also show you Yasmin Alic. So is another LinkedIn expert. I want you to know how he writes articles. He does not use any AI. Again, I'm connected with him. You can see he's got 361,000 followers. Yasmin Alic is based in Bosnia. Look at his about section. He talks starting with a problem statement, users. Then he said how he can help. If you look at his post, he always writes simple in words and with nice hook. He always gives white space, so it's not cramped. It's also mobile optimized. If you're going to write without any separation, it will look very difficult to read, not only on desktop, but also on mobile phone. See, here are the 5 things I haven't stopped. So people are likely to click to see more, to read more, what it is. Yasmin does not use any AI. It's all, he writes it himself. This is another good example for an optimized profile. So one more thing I want to point out to, let me share this tab. So if you go to my view profile, if you go to my settings, go to data privacy, go to downloaded data. Elena, you can see that, right?
Yeah, we can see it fine. Thank you.
Yeah. So download your data. So so uh, so you can grab this one, download large archive. So I want you to go and request that. Once it will take some time because I got 16,000 followers. It will take a little bit time, but once the download is ready, go and click it. You will get a zip file. Will come here. You need not unzip it. Again, go to any of your AI of choice, say ChatGPT or Claude. You can upload the entire zip file, and you can ask the AI, analyze my connection, tell me what I'm doing good, and I want to grow my business. I want to grow my consulting business. I want to land in this job. So what I should be doing? Give me a 30, 60, 90-day plan. So you can literally work with the AI based upon your data. You have to give the context. You have to tell what you want to do. What are your objectives for 2026? You don't have to unzip it. You can upload the entire zip file, and you can interact with that AI. So now I think I'll stop sharing and I'll take some questions.
Thank you so much, Ganesh, and thank you for actually sharing your screen and showing us practical examples. I think for me, there's so many things I've overlooked. I would have just never known. So this is why these sessions are really, really important. And as Ganesh mentioned, we'll be sharing some information with our community. So do scan the QR code and join us. Ganesh will be coming back to do a more in-depth look at your LinkedIn, and we actually will have the opportunity for him to, for a select number of people within the time, to actually go through their LinkedIn live and
Yeah.
tell you the areas that you will need to correct. So you don't want to miss that. So do scan the QR code. I know that I've asked him if he can do mine first. So I'm
Nah,
looking
and
forward.
I'll be respectful. Basically, I'll be roasting your profile, but I'll be respectful.
Respectful roasting. That's what it will be. We've got some really great questions, and do keep your questions coming. We'll try to answer as many as possible. But Ganesh, we've got the first question, and it says, in your experience, are there practical formats, so carousels, thoughtful questions, short stories that
Yes.
naturally increase the dwell time?
Very good question. Carousels are because it has number of slides. Again, don't have a carousel with 30 slides.
Mm,
Around 10 to 12 are likely spot. No more than 18 slides, and have a clarity. I don't cramp it with screenshots with 100 words. Right. Keep few words and it should be easy to read for human eye. So
mhm,
carousels are likely to do better in terms of dwell time as long as it is written clearly and offers value.
mhm,
So definitely that's a good question. Also, there is something called text-only post, text with infographic and video. 2 years back, it was all over the place. Videos were supposed to be the hottest trend, not anymore. There has
mm,
been a drop. Every year has been a drop. It's further drop. In fact, I got a sneak peek from Richard Vanderbloom for next week. The whole report is going to come out. So the newsletters are coming in a big way. So if any of you don't have a newsletter, I would encourage to create one newsletter on LinkedIn. You don't
mm.
have to post weekly. You post even monthly is fine. So because those are getting highly SEO Google indexed.
Amazing. Thank you for that. And then we'll go to the next question. Someone has asked, because you mentioned the bit around the comment and the length of the comment.
Mhm.
So they've said, with the algorithm, does it matter the content of the comment or just the length? Which is a good
It's
question.
a number of words is important. Also, it should not be a written command copy paste. It should be something to offer value to the post or insight, not repeating great posts. If you are going to repeat the same content what is already stated on the post, so it's not going to do much. So so the algorithm has to see are you extending the insight.
Yeah, yeah. And I think even I've seen people comment when I've scrolled through my feed, and it's very clear they're commenting for reach, but the comment doesn't add any value.
Yes, yeah.
And yeah, I think
Yeah,
that
it's
even
not going to be penalized, but you are not going to get much engagement. If your goal is to be positioning yourself as a thought leader, so you have to really offer authentic value to that post. That's how more people are going to see and get engagement. So and try to inject your own experience, right? You can use AI to polish it. There's nothing wrong. Absolutely, AI you can use, but just don't do copy paste. So have that human element.
absolutely, absolutely. And I think I saw somewhere on the comments, someone talked about how, and I think this just ties into what you said, that a lot of people are using AI to write their posts, and I would say their comments as well now. How do you use it in a way that still feels genuine and not robotic?
Yeah, I think I mentioned in the presentation, you have to bring your own experience, right? If I'm talking about 20 years of experience, 90 countries. So there are many things where I can inject my own experience in the post, right?
Mm,
ChatGPT does not know that. Cloud does not know that. So I have to give the context. Look, I have done this kind of projects. This was my situation. I
mm,
don't have to share any confidential data, but I can talk about my experience, me as a leader, me as a human.
mhm,
So the moment you bring your human voice, you inject your own experience, then it's not a written, it's a human. So
yes.
so that those algorithm will read, it's a human element is there.
Absolutely, absolutely. And I think that even if you want to, as you mentioned, even if you're using an AI tool to assist you, you have to give it context. It has to be personal to you. You can't just
Yeah,
ask for something generic. If you are using that, it has to be used as a tool, not
yeah,
just to spit
and
out.
don't use obvious. AI is very known for using m dashes. So try to avoid using m dash. And there are certain words, spot on, nail on the head, so dwell. So there are many words only AI will use. Human in a converse always use a conversational day-to-day language, right? So keep simple English and inject your human voice experience. Those will do much better.
Absolutely, absolutely. Thank you for that. And that's a good question. Thank you. So Sophia has asked, how do we know the category that LinkedIn puts us in? Like, how do we know where our
you,
niches?
you, you will not know. It's all behind the scenes. These are all behind the
Right.
scenes. So only thing as an action item, keep your profile simple with have a clarity. Your banner, your headline, everything should know. If someone is reading it in 7 seconds, they should know who this person is. They should not. If they are taking more than 7 seconds, it's difficult. So banner, headline, and the picture. People spend 7 seconds. They form a quick opinion. So having a simple message is important.
Okay. And in terms of the algorithm, you mentioned how maybe you post something that it doesn't associate you with. Forgive me if I'm wrong. And so
Yeah,
it doesn't push it as much.
yeah.
So how do you know what we're associated with?
Like for example, like I am positioning as a technology leader, right?
Hmm.
So if you see, most of my articles will be on technology. So tomorrow I write an article on the insurance changes should happen in the tax laws, or insurance tariffs. So those LinkedIn algorithm will say, wait a minute, Ganesh is not an expert on insurance policies. He is not an expert on taxes.
Hmm.
So it will still, the post will still be available on my profile. It will be there, but you will see a far less engagement. So I
Hmm.
get 100 comments a post, maybe 80 to 100 comments a post. I get 10,000 views, 5,000 views, but that post is likely to get fewer engagement, fewer visibility,
Hmm.
because it is not in my lane. LinkedIn will not showcase to many people.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Okay. Thank you for that. And we've got a really good question here as well. Someone has said, how would someone speak to recruiters and hiring managers if they don't accept requests? That's a
That-
good question because we
I
are
would
using
say,
it to support us with our job hunting.
yeah,
And we find the people we want to reach out to that we know can be influential in that.
yeah.
But how do we bypass that?
I would say, like, again, find out, are there any affinity point, right? Do some research, right? So are you trying to get into a certain organization, and the recruiter, are there any mutual friends? Are there any affinity point? What school they went to? Look at their reactions. So if
Hmm.
you look at the recruiter, you will look at the recruiter's post. Maybe they're not posting, but they will be reacting to some others post.
Yes.
So who are their connections? Do they have any recommendations? Who are the people who recommended them? So you have to do a thorough research on that person, and find some affinity point. Then include a few words when you're sending a connection request. If you have email, you can always send an email request with some affinity point. And nothing like another human referring to another person. If you are going to do everything on you, find the common points, some mutual. So I would say, pay attention to the reaction button, what kind of activity they have engaged, who are others are commenting on their post. Maybe
Mm,
so people have skills. How many people are who are others have endorsed their skills? A
yeah.
recruiter might have 30 skills, 40 skills. So find out who are the people endorsing their skills. That means maybe they connected with them. Then you can reach out and say whether you can get an introduction.
Absolutely, absolutely. Thank you. And Stacey has asked, and you've answered this partially, but how can I be authentic but still utilize the algorithm? Because we have to think about the numbers, how we're positioning ourselves, but how do we maintain our
I would
authenticity?
say this: just ask yourself: is it easy to understand? Right? Are you using simple English? Are you overcomplicating the concept? And
Mm,
in fact, when you use any of the AI, ChatGPT, ask ChatGPT to a self-assessment. Is it written in a simple English? Right? And
mhm,
many of the tools can do a self-assessment, but you have to ask. And do not accept the first version by any AI tool. You are basically asking the AI tool to self audit, do a self assessment,
mhm,
and always ask to give three versions, and
mhm.
pick the one which is the most simpler version, right?
Yes, yes. Okay, okay. Thank you for that. Hope that answers the question. And someone has asked, and again, I think I have a similar question. I think when we were coming up with this session, we talked about the algorithm 360 brew. And you've also mentioned today that there's a new algorithm that's coming that you're also going to tell
So
us of.
it's an update. It's an update report.
An
We don't
updated
know. It
algorithm,
it
yeah.
is an update report. Yeah.
Yeah, so someone has asked, how do we know when new algorithms come in? Which is a good question.
No, I know, because you again you have to connect with the community, because you'll start seeing the buzz. Yes, I know not everybody's going to know the announcement and what comes out, but what you'll start seeing is many people are talking about it, writing about it, discussing about it in many events. That's how
Mhm,
you know there's suddenly a new buzz. I think last October or later part of 25, there was a
mhm,
lot of buzz on LinkedIn with posts, many people talking about 360 brew, then Forbes magazine talking about 360 brew. There's some TV interviews are happening, and many of the events people are talking 360 brew, right? So because I'm connected with some of the thought leaders, I learned earlier, but for anyone, you will start seeing a lot of buzz. The
yeah,
whole idea is keep it simple, but next week it is not a new algorithm, it is an updates. What are the changes people are seeing based upon the 2 million post reviews?
absolutely, absolutely. And I think, as you mentioned as well, to build our communities. So whether you're joining groups, following the right people, so that
Yes,
you have access to this, and you can be aware of the changes. So thank you
right.
for that.
I would say, like, again, connect with me, and no, I'm happy to help anyone, or answer any questions. Yeah.
Absolutely. We'll also be sharing Ganesh's LinkedIn to everyone that has attended. Again, I will advise that you follow him.
Again, I'm disclaimer, right? I'm not an employee. I'm not getting paid by any organization. It's just purely out of
Yes.
my interest, and what I learned, what is working for me, I want to share to others. And use LinkedIn as a tool to elevate your brand, and be authentic, and like, I don't post every day. I post once a week. So again, I can tell you there's ton of engagement happens, and people are reaching out for building those conversations.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. And I've pinned a link to Ganesh's LinkedIn. So we'll share it after, and we'll also share the access to the recording via our site. But do feel free to follow him now. We've got another question. We're going to try as much as possible to get through all of them. But someone has asked, do you suggest associating skills with each entry in the experience section? Are endorsements for skills considered by the algorithm as part of an optimized profile?
Very good question. Very good question. I would say LinkedIn offers 100 skills, and use all 100 skills,
Hmm.
because every skill you don't include, you are leaving out from the searches. As if
Hmm.
a recruiter is looking for, I'm looking for, let's say, a technology leader with AI, with ERP, with software programming, right, or ML or Python. So if I don't even include as my skill, so I'm ruling myself out, right? I'm not even including it. So make sure is your profile has the optimized skills. How do you know that? Again, AI can do the research for you. Enable the deep research mode, whether it's AI or Claude. Say, as a career strategist, analyze my LinkedIn profile. Tell me the top 100 skills optimized for my dream job, for my target job, and do an audit of what you already have, and feel free to make those changes.
Hmm.
And one very important point, you have to reorder the skills. You have to, because by LinkedIn by default will only show the new skills added.
Hmm.
So you might have a skill which is really, you are an expert in that. Because you added a new skill today, the new skill will appear that as the latest skill.
Hmm.
So
Hmm.
the top two skills are visible on the profile. So
Yeah.
very important. Let me see whether I can show. Uh, Good question. I'll take a minute to show this so that
Yeah.
others can benefit. Let me see whether I can share my screen. Um, okay, can people see this my screen?
Yes. Let me add it to
Okay,
this.
so I'm going to the skills. Let's say my digital transformation AI is the top two skills. So anything after that, I have to click to see, show all to see. So only the top two are most visible on my profile, top two. So third and then 100, you have to click to see more, right? Now, one more thing. If I'm going to add today a new skill, let's say project management, so that is going to come here, and this one will push it out. So always pay attention to three dots. Can you see the three dots?
Hmm.
You have to use the reorder button. Again, you can ask the AI tool, here are my 100 skills, help me reorder them. Help
Mm.
me reorder them. It will reorder. If my job is my target jobs to be a CIO or a vice president or a director, whatever your goals are, tool can help you reorder them in terms of highest impact, highest visibility. So next is question is, it is always good practice to associate your experience section. So that then you are having some credibility, right? If I'm saying I'm having 20 years of experience, I am also associating with some of my certifications.
Mm.
So I'm associating digital transformation. I'm associating with where I worked my association. So I'm also including my certifications.
Hmm.
Also, 62 people have endorsed it. So you ideally a two-digit endorsement will be good. If I'm telling, hey, I'm a leader with and zero people have endorsed, like you don't want any cause any suspicion, right? There is no negative factor. There is no penalty by algorithm if you don't have endorsement. No, please don't get me wrong. But any endorsement, it is going to help human psychology, right? If I'm claiming this to be a leader, have some endorsement will help.
Yeah, yeah.
No endorsement, there is no penalty. There is no penalty for that.
Absolutely, absolutely. Thank you. Thank you for that, Ganesh. We're running out of time, but we have a few more.
Yes, okay, good.
Say, please do scan the QR code as I mentioned on the left. If you do have any further questions, our aim really is to support you if you're in technology trying to move or you want to grow in your career or you're trying to enter tech. So do send us a contact, join our community and send us a message using our site. And we'll try our best to actually come back to you with answers from Ganesh. So this is not the end of it. Do share, do send your messages. So we've got a really good question here, Ganesh. It says, as a fresher targeting entry level roles, what are the important keywords we should optimize to appear in recruiter searches? Because now we have thought leaders, but we also have people that are trying to enter the
Absolutely.
full-time job market.
Absolutely. I would say talk about your skills, your technical skills, maybe some certifications, maybe some project you did in your undergrad or college, right? Maybe some coursework, some project, and so you can always highlight as an experience. I did this project as part of my coursework, and use what was the objective, what was your role, and what did you bring value to the team, and
Mhm.
talk about all that will help, because any keywords you can include in your about section. Experience your keywords will help. So again, I'm happy to review if you have a specific example, but always think like a recruiter. So
Mhm.
if you're a recruiter, what they'll be looking for in their hire, maybe an intern, maybe it's somebody is a fresher from the college. Think like a recruiter, optimize your profile, then you will get far much success.
Absolutely. Thank you for that. And Natesh as well. I would advise as well that you sign up for the roasting, the LinkedIn review, we'll call it, because that may be quite helpful, especially if you're trying to enter the job
Yeah.
market. Someone has also asked a really good question. Francis has said, scammers are already taking advantage of the LinkedIn job search. How can
Mhm.
this be prevented? Which is another angle.
Very good question. First of all, don't share any of your personal data. And I've heard a lot of stories, right? When LinkedIn has been very strict on fake profiles with spammers, they continue to clean that up, but still you do come across some scammers. Always ask where are the sources. If someone is sending an email from Gmail or not an organization email, work email, that itself is a big red flag. That's first one. Second, I've heard a story like one of my friend, he's a vice president. He got a call from a recruiter. They asked him, "Give me a copy of your passport." I said,
Oh,
"I said you can ask as a part of the background check, but when things are much advanced in the stage of close to offer or, but not as a first call of the right." So
Right.
be very careful about what you're sharing and whom you are sharing, and always use caution.
Yeah, absolutely. And some pages that are not legitimate, they will give
Yeah.
some claims. So,
Also, one more thing is people are asking you information. Look at their profile.
exactly.
Do they have a picture? How many connections they have? So you get a lot of fake profiles like that. If you find any time even one person suspicion, do not engage with that.
Agree.
You can even report to LinkedIn, say suspected as a profile, and they will take action.
Absolutely, absolutely. And we'll end with this final question, and it's from Jonathan, and I think it sort of sums it up. It says, if someone only changed one thing in their profile after this session, what should it be to actually make a difference? If we had to pick one thing we're going to implement, what would
I
it
would
be?
say
It's a hard
I would
question.
I would say that is very difficult. My top three go to our about section, uh, headline, and profile picture. Because I told right, headline and profile picture, it goes to 11 places.
Mm,
So pay attention to that headline. The first 45 characters are super important. First 45 characters of your headline.
right.
Then about section is considered SEO of your profile. If you have a profile, about section super critical, followed by headline and picture.
Amazing, amazing. And that all brings us to the end of our session. Thank you so much, Ganesh. There's so much, information and wisdom we're taking away. If it'll be all right with you, we'll share the
I mean,
slides.
I'm happy to help anyone and in whatever is part of your career journey. Next week, I'm very excited. Look forward to the new updates and happy to come back at a later time to share
Yes.
anything from that.
Yes, so we'll be sharing it with our community. So thank you, Ganesh. We look forward to hosting you again. And thank you for everyone that has joined us. As mentioned, do join us, follow us on LinkedIn, and join our community. We'll be sharing the details of the next session, as well as the form that you can fill out if you want to have your LinkedIn profile reviewed. But thank you once again, Ganesh, for such a thoughtful session. And thank you for everyone that has joined. I hope it has been useful. Please feel free to leave us some feedback and communicate with us via the contact form. So until next time, on the last Saturday of next month, we'll be back again with another tech dialogue. I look forward to seeing you then. So take care.